Bob, thank you for sitting down with me.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
The theme of our annual leadership meeting is Revenue the Next Wave. What does that mean for the thousands of marketers that you represent?
Well, it means a lot of things, and most importantly, first of all, that digital is the next generation for advertising and marketing. And marketers' main priority right now is to understand how best to leverage digital, social media, mobile, the next generation of tools, devices, media platforms to be able to better reach their consumers and their customers. One of the core objectives for marketers is always to get more personal, to get closer with their respective consumers and customers. And with that, they need the appropriate leverage, they need the appropriate tools to be able to leverage that relationship. And the only way to do it is through digital. And they know that if they can do that, they will in fact generate the incremental revenue that is absolutely critical to their growth and well-being over the course of time.
Digital media has transformed the way consumers experience entertainment and information. Yet it still only represents a very small piece of the overall advertising pie. Why do you think that is?
The ability for marketers to understand if that investment in digital is returning the appropriate investment, number one, and number two, whether that digital investment is worthy of incremental investment, meaning to say, should we be borrowing more media investments from the traditional print, radio, television source in order to be able to invest in digital social media platforms that theoretically will drive incremental investment because they will have the ability to get closer to their consumers. But unfortunately, the accountability side is still not clear-cut. Years ago, when we thought digital was going to be the most accountable media, is in fact becoming very troublesome in that regard. We can't even agree upon how to measure audience in that regard. And when this digital marketplace is under such confusion as to what that return is or what those measurement platforms are, that's going to create doubt in the marketers' minds. So whereas one would theoretically assume that large amounts of investment would go into those platforms, there is a degree of hesitancy because we can't agree upon some of the most basic measures of what is in fact taking place.
You're speaking here today about who owns the data, perhaps one of the toughest issues facing our industry. What do you think is most important about the debate from the marketer perspective?
Well, it's a great debate, and it is a very, very difficult one, primarily because everybody owns the data and nobody owns the data. It's a confused marketplace, although the IAB is working very aggressively at trying to provide some structure around who owns the data. But it ties nicely with the theme of this conference, because it's not only who controls the data, but it's about how it is fairly allocated to the appropriate organizations that make up the entire digital marketing supply chain. And it's critical for that data management, and I'd rather say management than control for the moment, because with that management will control the ability to drive revenue to all of the players in the digital marketing ecosystem. And that's critical from the marketer's perspective, because how well that is optimized will in fact lead to the original goal that we were just talking about, which is to be able to build their brands and to drive revenue for the marketers.